Are you saying wait?
Now you're saying.
Okay. Hi, this is Representative Sharon Jackson, District 13, Eagle River, Chugiak, and Jay-Bear. So it's nice to have you here with us this evening. And we have some special guests that I am looking forward to introducing to you. We have some great things coming. And Sharon Mason will introduce our guests.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to our Fireside. We're so happy to have you this evening. So glad that you decided to join us. You are in the right place at the right time. So tonight, our first guest tonight is Mr. Angus McGregor, my Scottish friend.
Hi.
He is here joining us. He is our newly placed, just recently, our Director Task Force in Alaska. And so thank you for joining us tonight. He is joining us as he will be introducing his Alaska Therapeutic Drug Testing Laboratory coming to Eagle River and to Anchorage. And we will join our conversation now. Get your pencils and paper out. Get your questions ready to ask Representative Jackson. She works best when she's working on her feet. So get your questions ready, and I'll be back to join you later.
Thank you.
So welcome, Angus. Tell us a little more about yourself.
Good evening, Representative Jackson. How are you this evening?
Fabulous, fabulous.
Thank you for having us here. I really appreciate it.
We're honored.
So Beech Tree Diagnostics is a high complexity therapeutic drug testing laboratory. We're home based in Salt Lake City, Utah. And we have some very unique and patented technology. And we came up and met with the governor's staff in December of late last year, and they have invited us to build a laboratory here in the state of Alaska to help combat the drug epidemic that's going on here in Alaska, as well as the laboratory is not easily found. And also we had a lot of HR requirements. We're going to be hiring people to help us in our laboratory.
How many people are you looking to hire?
Well, estimated with us also doing COVID testing, we're also, our staffing requirements are going to change. Originally we were thinking about 50, but I think we're probably going to be pushing close to 100 when we get completely set up and fully functional. So again, I really wanted to thank you for helping us find a location that met our needs and helping us with our HR needs as well.
Beautiful. And would you like to introduce?
Behind every task force manager, there is somebody who actually has brains, and this is Mike Isom. Mike Isom is actually a registered nurse and super tech in the real operating sense, real world. This is the gentleman who actually goes out and works with therapy court judges and drug court judges and really knows what's going on in the streets. And so I wanted to bring him in on this dialogue because it's all about people and saving people and helping people. And Mike is the guy who actually makes that happen. So.
All right, here's Mike. Hello, sir, and welcome back to Eagle River.
You know what? I actually missed the Eagle River. I'm in Utah and it's dark, and I'm looking at how beautiful it is up there, and I remember now why we're about to build a lab up there. Can you hear? Okay.
Can people hear, Mike? Get some feedback. We want to make sure everybody hears. Okay, they can hear you.
Great.
Oh, let's just make sure. Okay. Go ahead, Mike.
So one of the things that we're excited about is drug testing is usually looked at as a punitive thing, or you're guilty or pass fail. And what we've been able to work on in the last couple of years is doing more of a comprehensive panel, basically helping people with their medications to become compliant. And one of the things that we've really focused on is creating a panel that doesn't just track the bad drugs, the heroines or the cocaines, but basically a lot of the mental health meds. And as Angus mentioned before, the machines that we have and the ability to test there in Alaska, literally having the samples being tested in Eagle River as opposed to shipping them down to the lower 48, it allows you to actually do a better comprehensive treatment and help people actually. We joke around about stumbling forward instead of just this punitive, you failed your drug test, you're going back to jail, or you're losing all of your rights, things like that. And the thing that I absolutely love is we've been doing this for 5 years, and with your help up there, we've actually almost eclipsed what we've done in Utah in the last couple of weeks with your help. So it's also one of the reasons why we're grateful and putting our flag down in Eagle River is thanks to your help and a lot of the connections you've already made for us. But actually, we're really excited about bringing a lot of the technology and like Angus said earlier, we have patents on things to help people, help providers specifically give better care. And we're just excited to come up, and it's thanks to you that we're there. So just want to say thanks.
Thank you. And so when is our ETA estimated time of arrival?
So we're going to be back in town the end of this month, but I'm hoping that our contracts are finalized and we can actually do a groundbreaking ceremony hopefully by the end of this week.
Yay!
We're actually as anxious as you guys are to have this come up.
Yeah.
And so with everything that's happening right now, and like I said, just the connections that you've made and the excitement that we've already seen in Alaska, we're just excited to come up there. And so we're hoping to have the official groundbreaking sometime this week. And then we'll be able to show everybody what's going on and introduce everybody to Alaska's first lab.
Yes. Yay. Well, thank you both very much. Angus, thank you for your hard work. He's been working hard. And building great relationships here in Eagle River, and we're looking forward to our healthy journey ahead.
That's correct. And we should also add in there that we'll have some announcements coming out about our COVID testing as well.
Okay.
And they should be pretty exciting to Alaska as well, because again, you won't have to ship samples to lower 48. You'll be able to do that testing here in the state of Alaska. So
that's beautiful. Well, thank you very much. And we will continue to work together as we get this moving on. All right?
Thanks. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you. So, I'm excited. I'm excited because here in Alaska, as we know, with our health, my microphone. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, is that better? Being on health and social services, we witness a lot of issues that I feel that Beech Tree Labs will help us not only heal our people, cut down, hopefully, on suicide prevention, COVID testing. He's mentioned that, and so to know that we're going to have in-house, in-state testing available, I think that makes us all feel a little easier about, what we've been experiencing for the last 4 months. But the nice part about it is we will be able to have numbers to show how we are going to save the state money. We have to be creative, we have to be innovative, and we have to be inspired with a vision to bring our Alaska north to the future. Anyway, so Sharon.
Yes, thank you, Representative Sharon, for that thoughtful conversation with Angus. Thank you so much, Angus. And now we're going to go to our Q&A. So I hope you've got your pencil and your paper ready. I'm going to introduce you to part of this amazing dream team. She has just retired from a 30-year service with the federal government. She's a hard worker. She has connection, and she has just a beautiful spirit. She's beautiful inside and out. So we are so thankful tonight and grateful to introduce you tonight to part of the dream team, Married to Relativo.
Yay! Yay! What about Jean? Does he get away? Hi, Marichu.
Hi, Representative Jackson.
Thank
Great
you
to be
for
here.
being here tonight.
Great, too.
All right.
Well, let me work on this.
Get mic'd up. Get mic'd up.
All right, can everybody hear me? Great. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Representative Jackson's live Fireside Chat. Live here, we got some nice fire going here, and it's a little toasty.
Feels good.
And we are in Eagle River on a beautiful Monday evening. And I will be the moderator for tonight's discussion. Please share and like our live chat today and ask your questions directly to our live chat, and we will answer them and by Ms. Representative Jackson. I hope this is good. Okay, well, while we're waiting for some questions to pop up in the live chat, I would like to ask some questions to Representative Jackson. Representative Jackson, please share with your audience how you became the House Representative for District 13, which covers Eagle River, Chugiat, and Jay-Bear.
Well, I worked in the trenches of small businesses for many years. I serviced their office equipment anytime copiers went down. I worked for the office space downtown, actually. And I was in the military, and it was time for me to relocate or stay here. I wanted to stay here, of course. So I got out on a Friday. I started charter college on Monday because I felt like if I had my electronic degree certification, it would get me into the door of what I wanted to do. And I wanted to repair office equipment. So I repaired office equipment for like 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, it felt good because I was serving. I was in service, right? After leaving the service of the United States Army, I went into the service of small business. And you wouldn't believe when they have a deadline and they need to get things done and their copier stopped. Oh, that just wasn't good. So I felt good going through the door. And I wanted to do something with more substance and helping the people. And I joined the National Federation of Independent Business, Raising the Voices. It's a membership-based organization. The more voices you have, no matter what, no matter where, what the situation is, the more voices you have, the more power and influence you have. And I worked with the National Right Share Congressman, which is a national legislative research. So I was into legislation and educating business owners how, if it passes, this is how it's going to affect you. So I enjoyed it, met a lot of wonderful people all around the state of Alaska. So when we had our primary for U.S. Senate, and Senator Sullivan, our now Senator Sullivan, and Lieutenant Governor Meade Treadwell, and the incumbent was Senator Begich. So I would listen to them because the business owners trust my input on what's going on because we built rapport for a long time. And I knew they couldn't leave their business to go on the trail to see who was going to better serve them. So I did it for them. So on that campaign trail, they never knew if they would see me in Anchorage, Wasilla, Fairbanks, Kenai. I was everywhere. What I loved about Senator Sullivan, and still do, mind you, he was focused. He had a vision. He had a goal And he never veered off of that goal. So I went to his swearing in ceremony, and he asked me what I was going to do next, and I figured, okay, it's time to go in and help him out. So I did. And it was wonderful helping people with the federal agencies, with their federal challenges and concerns. As I was there, I noticed things started getting a little crazy outside our window here in the state. You know, SB 91, crime numbers going up, the PFD was taken away or cut in half about it. So I ran for lieutenant governor because, of course, if our elections, if the people cannot count on a safe and true election process, the government fails. So I was on a mission to make sure we had a good election process and ran for lieutenant governor. The goal was to get Governor Dunleavy into office. So after the elections, the goal was accomplished. We did get Governor Dunleavy in. I did not win the lieutenant governor, but that was okay. The main seat was taken care of, and so Commissioner Nancy Dahlstrom, she had the seat as a representative before, and she ran again. She won the seat. And the governor appointed her as commissioner of corrections. Yes,
that's
and
great.
So that left our seat abandoned. And we had to go through the process. Many of you know we go before our district. We have to submit 3 names to the governor. I think we had 8 names. And so I'm the anointed, appointed one. And it's truly an honor to be here and serving in this capacity.
That's great. Well, District 13 is happy to have you on
you.
board. One of the questions that we have here is, how long have you been a Republican, and why do you identify yourself as a Republican?
Oh, that's a good question. I have always been a Republican. In my household, our parents didn't talk politics. However, election day, Dad come home from work and said, "Did you vote today?" Mom says, "Yes." "Did you?" Dad says, "Yes." And that was the end of their conversation. Later to find out, of course, one was a Republican, then the other was a Kennedy Democrat. Let's just kind of give that time. And so I joined the military, and my son was very young. And when I joined the military, I had to give temporary custody up. And I went into the reserves initially. But I realized I wanted to serve our country. It really, when you put your right hand up and swear on that oath, that's a major commitment that never goes away. For me, never goes away. And so I came back from basic training, and this was during the Grenada time, the Grenada era. And we were told that we're going to war, and reservists were being called back to active duty. My boss asked me, "Are you Democrat or Republican?" And quite frankly, early 20s, I never thought about that. And I stood there and I thought about it, and Republican came out of my mouth. And he made a few phone calls, and he goes, "Oh, everything is okay, go back to work." Well, as a young person, that I felt like, wow, they have my back like that. Not that I did not want to go to war, because that's what I signed up for. That tug of leaving your child is harder, you know. But I stayed Republican. I have been very independent. Bought my own homes, own cars, had jobs that I wanted to have. And quite frankly, we have a two-party system as of now, truly speaking. As we know, there are many parties. And I don't say this to disrespect any, because I respect them all. We have two parties, Democrat or Republican. Being raised in the church, both of my grandfathers were a bishop and a pastor. So the principles of the Republican Party matched my principles. So I didn't feel like I had to give anything up or sacrifice who I am in order to fit in a party. The party just fit me. And when I look at history, you know, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Frederick Douglass, my favorite, Joseph Rainey. Joseph Rainey was the first slave that served in the U.S. House of Congress. And he was the first Speaker of the House. Now, Joseph Rainey was a Republican. And I can relate to that, because I'm the first Republican black woman serving in the House. And the honor of that is we are celebrating our 100th anniversary of women's suffrage. And
Right.
Right? So there's so much going on right now. And I believe if things were quiet and as we knew it, that would be the big talking points of today, how women fought and were able to vote, and not only able to vote, but able to serve their community in the House or in the state Senate or in DC, you know? So we're at a very powerful historic point, and I'm honored to be a sitting representative during this time.
Yes, if we did not have the COVID pandemic and all this rioting going on in multiple cities, we would see more celebration on this 100th anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
And it's unfortunate that it's not getting the publicity that it deserves.
Yes.
And thank you for bringing that up to everyone.
Is my water over there?
It's on the bottom. And I would just like to address our audience, so
Joseph.
please submit your questions to Representative Jackson, and she will gladly respond to all your questions. You can type it in on the live feed here, or you can also text one of us to give the answers, the questions. Now, this is not your normal way of campaigning where you're doing not door to door, having big gatherings. Why did you decide to do this fireside chat today?
I believe the people deserve the opportunity to see who I am, hear who I am, and have access to me as well. And I know there's a lot going on. I know there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear, a lot of heartache and pains. And I just want to let you know I am a working legislator, and I am here for you. You know, to me, being a legislator, yes, we have 90, 120-day sessions, but life is 24/7. And I like to be available for my constituents when they need me. So doing the fireside chat gives an opportunity to be relaxed and just let's talk about this. Let's, have some dialogue. Anyone have any questions out there? Okay. Bert, what do you think?
Can you talk a bit about work you are doing to help military spouse employment?
Absolutely. I had the honor of introducing House Bill 113. Military spouses are the highest unemployed, underemployed in our country, nationally. And they are the highest educated. They have education and professions that's absolutely amazing. However, when they go to get a job, once people realize they are married to military, they don't get the interview. With this bill, it guarantees them an interview. And there's more to come with this. In the Senate, I think it's SB 11, but Senator Kawasaki has a licensure bill. And so we put these two bills together that if a military spouse come into the state of Alaska, they should not have to wait 6 months before the license are accepted. And I had a meeting today on reciprocity for military spouses, and 39 states already have this. Now, the support that we got with HB 113, we had more bipartisan support on this bill. Not only votes, but co-sponsoring. And the interesting thing is I was on lockdown because my mother got really sick. And my brother called and said, if you want to see her alive, you have to come down.
Oh, wow.
Man, what a challenge that was, right? Because I take my work seriously, maybe too seriously, but that's when I commit, I'm all in. I'm all in.
You were in the middle of a session then when you received the call.
Yes, towards the end of the session. This was the end of February.
Okay.
And that was even harder because we had some serious bills that I definitely did not want to miss votes on. And I went back to my mother, and that's when we found out while she was in a hospital, she was terminal. And they gave her a few months to live at best. So I moved her from the hospital back home, put her under hospice care while my other sister came in, and I just wanted to make sure she was never alone. And something I have not shared with you guys, I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. When I decided to go into the military, they did also. So all 5 of us served in the military.
Wow.
Yes, I had a sister in Hawaii, brother in Scotland, sister in Germany. I was here in Alaska, and a brother in Virginia. So with that said, we kind of live spread out. So I got mom comfortable. My sister went in to care for her, and I came back in to Juneau, and that's when all the doors started shutting down with this COVID. We had our first case by Wednesday. And because I was out of state, even though I worked all week, the following week, I was put on quarantine. So that again took me off the floor. You know, I just had the remaining 7 days, but I got to sit and watch my bill pass the floor. And I just want to say to all of my colleagues out there, that was the best experience ever. Because when we pass a bill, it's for the good of Alaska. It's for the good of everybody. Right. You know, it's not personal. It's not about us. It's about what we can do for the constituents. So yes, we did get that passed, and we have some more things to do because there's opportunities for them. Military is looking to expand here, and so that will be something I will continue working on, because I don't want Alaska to lose an opportunity to have expanded base. They're looking at bringing the Space Center. Anchorage is considered to be a
Right.
space. Yeah,
Well, that'd be
there's
awesome.
Yes, there's a lot of good things going on. And it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of helping these businesses come in. Like Beechtree, I'm so honored to have them here in Alaska, and thrilled to have them in District 13 in Eagle River.
And having them here in Eagle River is going to bring jobs
Oh, yes.
to the community.
Yes.
And what did Angus say about how many people can be employed here?
Up to 100.
100 people. And, you know, that's great for Eagle River. It's great for our state.
Oh, yes.
Because that could expand beyond.
I have that vision. I believe they're really going to grow and help the citizens, residents here in Alaska in ways that we can't even conceive of right now. But just having in-state testing for COVID it gives hope. This is hope, people. That's what this is.
Yes, and the COVID test is taking 3 to 4 days, even longer, to get the results at the airport. So having the local testing here and then the rapid testing that is going to be coming pretty soon, it's going to impact people from not have to be quarantined at their home, and they can go straight to work. I mean, can you imagine how much time saving for companies, especially even just say the slope workers, you know, and how that would not stop their mission. I understand that Beechtree also would identify 140 types of drugs.
Well, you know, I tell you what,
That's amazing.
This lab is future. You know, it really is, and it has qualities that no other lab that we have here yet. You know, so it's just a great opportunity of us expanding our technologies and helping to heal our land, help to heal our people, help to heal our Alaska. Are there any questions over there? Okay.
Well, we can go on to some of the questions that we had received earlier.
Okay.
Of course, state budget is the biggest concern that all Alaskans have. Do you believe the state government has a spending problem or a deficit problem, and why?
Well, we have a deficit because we have a spending problem. And, you know, the thing is, we have ways to deal with the budget. Right now, sitting somewhere is a 10-year plan to get our budget in order. And 10-year plan, that's nice because it's not just ripping everybody and taking all this away all at one time. And in that 10-year plan, there's no taxes, and we still get our PFD. And that was submitted by Donna Arduin, and she worked hard. I don't know why she's not here, but I know what she did while she was here, and I believe that we can continue to work on that. We need to cut waste. Let me give you an example. So when we're in committees, we usually hear from commissioners, deputy commissioners. I would like to hear from supervisors. I want to hear from the people on the ground doing the work. Because honestly, I get phone calls. I get phone calls saying we're wasting money. So we can find these areas of waste and tighten them up. Just let's tighten this up, you know, use what we need to get what we need done.
So do you think one way to save some money is maybe consolidating some services?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, and now this is my opinion, but we have 4 major buckets of money, let's call it that, okay? We have ADA, we have the Housing Authority, we have Mental Health Trust, and what am I missing? ADA. Anyway, the point is they have a lot of money in them. I would like to see us consolidate them and bring them under one roof. And that way, I believe that we would have, one, an idea of how much money we really have in this state. And 2, it gives us some flexibilities that we haven't been working on. And public-private partnership is a wonderful thing. But at this point, we have to be creative. We have to do things differently. As, you know, you hear insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. How about we structure our financial systems and buckets, and let's see what we can do. Like right now, we need it bad.
Right.
If it doesn't work, we can go back to the way we've been doing things. I think right now is a great opportunity to do things a little differently and let it work for us instead of us, you know, just struggling. We need to diversify our resources.
It looks like, it appears like you are thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
Do you have any colleagues that are doing the same thing and be able to work together for some of these options that the state can do?
Well, I believe the people are busy right now. I believe the people are busy looking for those voices that would represent their districts as I represent my district, with integrity, with loyalty, which is very important. One thing, nobody can say, even if you make it up. There's been a lot of that lately. But you cannot say that I never stood strong. I have never wavered. And do you know how hard that is? What kind of pressure that is? You know what? I love Eagle River. I love the people of my district, and I'm very protective of them. I will stand and I will fight to make sure they get what they are asking for. Not what I want, but what they need. And I believe with faith, we're going to have good people in there, you know. I think after a while, people get discouraged and fed up, quite frankly. And I believe they're going to send some new people in. And yes, we can work together. There's no reason for us not to work together. We all want the same thing. We want a good, financially stable, and sustainable Alaska, where we can raise our families and go fishing and not worry about not enough fish. And you know, let's get back to what we know Alaska to be. We are pioneers, people. Like, not just anybody settle in Alaska.
Right.
And that's why I always say the best resource in Alaska are her people.
Right. And what I'm hearing you say is, and to remind your colleagues and the people of Alaska, is you work for the people of Alaska. You work for your district, and you are listening to what they're telling you and what they need.
Yes.
And then you go back to Juneau and remember that, and not forget that it's a whole different business when you get to Juneau. No, you are representing your district and also listening to what's going on around the state.
I would like to say something about that, because what we don't realize is when we're representing the voices of our people, there's people in other districts that their voices aren't being heard, but they're the same, they're wanting the same things that our district wants. So I believe when we're in there, we're representing all the people that want a voice and want to be heard. That's important for us to understand.
That's right. That's right. So to our audience out there on Facebook, please submit your questions and like and share our page. And could we please have the questions that's been posted?
Just a few things here. Dan Kendall, thank you for being part of our community here in Chugiak Eagle River. We've got Carl Nelson says, "You're a rock star. I'm proud to call you my friend." Dean Marshall is saying, "Come on, folks, leave some questions out there. We know you want some answers."
Yes, ask these questions, people. Okay, I remember a question. I remember a question. There was a question in me being scared to debate somebody. Let me just tell you something straight up. I'm not scared to debate anybody, because when you are authentic and you give all that you have, when God orders your step for your purpose in life, no man can scare you from answering any questions. We've had four forums.
Yes.
AMAC had 3 or 4 themselves.
Right.
And the Matsu Republican women had forums, and my opponent came to 1. We just had one this weekend. And I haven't seen him there. I haven't been hiding. I've been out here. So that you can know and see that I'm standing for you and representing your voices. That's what you asked for, right? I'm honored. I'm honored to do that.
Well, and one thing too, we must remind our audience is that you are not on vacation. You are still working,
yes,
even though you're not in session. You
yes,
are visiting your constituents. You're answering phone calls from outside of your districts, and any concerns, the military gets a hold of you. You're always working.
I'm always working. So what Mayor Hitchu is saying, I have 2 hats, okay? And just today, there were a few crises that our constituents had, and I was available, and just you call me, you have a problem, you call me, I'm working. Everything stops for you. Everything. I'm not kidding. So I get a call, and this family, and it reminds me of my situation when I was losing my mother. But tonight the requirements for people to fly in are changing. In case you didn't know, when people fly into Alaska, if they are not pre-test with COVID, they will have to pay $250 to get a test at the airport. $250. Now, I'm not complaining, and that's free to the residents. Understand that. But that's expensive. So whoever came up with that, good thinking, because we are paying that money, right? And so your family that's coming to visit will pay that money. We did find out, as I was looking into what we can do to help this family, Walgreens are doing free tests in different states, everywhere. If you go to COVID-19
testing.org.
I'll post it because I don't want to be wrong on this, but COVID-19 something / testing. We'll find it for you. But anyway, yeah. So, go ahead.
We got a question here from Jeff Bowers.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about protecting our permanent fund from wasteful spending politicians?
Oh, well, my prayers is the people are out there working hard to get a pro-PFD representative in their districts. We're good here, Jeff. So I am a PFD defender. I will always be until the people vote different. You know, it's in statute. That means it's law. And as long as it is written in law, I'm not going to change how I stand on this. Like, who do we really think we are to make decisions to take food off the table of our constituents? That just doesn't make sense to me. And right now, with this COVID and restaurants closing, you want to go there? I'm just saying, like, the people, you need your money. In April, I sent a letter from my office, a official letter to all the legislators asking them to go back in. Let's do a session to do an emergency release of at least the balance of last year's PFD. Because, you know, when people are down, they can't work, they have no money coming in, they start getting fearful. And I wrote in a paragraph, people are going to start stealing, they're going to start killing. And what have we noticed this summer? Not as bad here in Alaska, thank God, but people are losing their minds. So let's help our people. Let's help them get through these times. You know what? We're going to have to deal with all of this, the budget and everything else. Why can't we let people eat while we're getting that taken care of? So, Jeff, yes, I am a PFD defender. I will stand strong as a PFD defender until the people decide to do something differently. And I think that's a decision for all people, not just 60 people. I think all of the people, because if you vote to get rid of it, then you can't blame me, right? That's your decision. But as long as it's in statute, I will stand and protect our Constitution against foreign or domestic. Thank you for that question.
I have another question here.
Okay.
This one is from myself.
Okay.
I hear you have been targeted for being too conservative. Why would the Republican Party say such a thing about you? And and I wish I could say this was just coming from one direction, but I've seen this through several different social media channels that this is exactly what is happening. What are your feelings towards this?
That I'm too conservative? What does that make them? I'm just asking, right? I think we spend too much time judging people, right? To me, that's a judgment. I am conservative. God comes first. My family comes second. And our country, serving my country, whether it's fully armed gear or as a representative. So too conservative may mean she's consistent. Too conservative may mean she's not a traitor. You know, thank you for asking this question, because we need to talk about the truth. Let's stop playing. Let's just do this, right? So you have the Democrat Party, and we watch everything they do. And don't get me wrong, I'm not judging all Democrats. I'm talking about the party. They stick together. The Republican Party, like, what's up? Really, what's up? So we have a platform. I vote the platform. And that means too conservative? Yeah, I'm too conservative then. And I would like to go down to Juneau with some more conservatives so we can get the business of the people done. I'm not there to make friends. I'm not. I'm not there to be accepted. I know who I am. I'm secure in who I am. So I don't have to sell myself out for acceptance. But I do take seriously my responsibility in being your voice. So as far as I'm concerned, the people of Eagle River, Chugiak, and Jay Bear, you're my caucus. You're my safe space, right? And I will continue to. It's not like I'm unreasonable. I believe people just don't know how to take me. But calling me too conservative, like, we need to get it together. You know, united we stand, divided we fail. Not fall. We've been falling for a long time. Divided we fail. So we need to come together and decide, are we Republicans together? Or some of us aren't good enough because we're conservative. Well, I thought Republicans were conservative. Am I wrong, somebody?
Jeff Bowers, I'm a good segue for him here. Jeff Bowers, over the years, conservatives have slowly been more liberal. I think you are a breath of fresh air.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't think anybody's saying that about me. You know, like, for example, our budget. That last vote to pass a budget that was just absolutely ridiculous, and a reverse sweep, which is a blank check, just here you go. I could not stand for that and come home and look my constituents in their face saying I did the best I could. But I don't judge others. Like, you know, we need to stop this judgment stuff. And if we do the best that we can, if everyone did the best that we can, I believe we would be in a better place right now. Instead of worrying about what Angus is doing over there, or Dean, what, or, you know, let's stay in our lanes and do our part. And man, in no time, we will have a better Alaska than we ever seen. Because one thing for sure, we always come back stronger.
That's great. So it'd be a good segue to education.
All right.
And our youth.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, if there is even active duty who get out of the military, they leave Alaska. And high school kids, they leave Alaska. And then going to college, and then leaving college with a high student loans. There are other options for students to have a career. And can you provide some of those options for students in Alaska, and that they rather would stay here and have their life here instead of moving out of state?
Yeah, so let's talk about education. For one, I want to address you saying how the military leaves Alaska. We have more veterans per capita than any other state living here in Alaska.
Right.
And the thing about it is, like with the spouses having good jobs in their profession, I say a happy spouse is a happy house.
Right.
And when the active duty member have the choice of getting out of the service, ETSing somewhere, they are more inclined to stay here than not. So I want to address that. Now, our schools, my heart goes out to the parents of school-age children. My heart goes out for the teachers. However, in my life, I find the good. We have to look for the good in every situation. And sometimes these situations is so hard, so tough, but we have to be creative and think differently. And with education, I think right now we have more opportunities than we've ever had. Our numbers have been nil, just low, and we pay more money per student than pretty much anywhere. So how about letting the money follow the students? How about having school choice? How about bringing back little red schoolhouses? You know, a teacher can take 6 students. The parents will be able to afford to pay the teacher, and I bet you those grades would go up. You know, we have homeschool teachers that's been homeschooling forever, and they are the most generous people I know because they care. I'm sure, and I was told by a few, they wouldn't mind taking on extra students. Say if you have 2 kids, I'm homeschooling, bring them over. I'll help you. So we have to, instead of, it's like when we're in pain, we stop breathing. We hold our breath. And I say, when we do that, our brain is not getting the oxygen. We just have to breathe through this, breathe through it, think about it, look at our options, and we're going to have happy teachers, making money.
Higher score?
Yeah, better test grades, because now think about it too. The students are getting, if you're in a class with 20 kids, how much attention does each kid get? I don't know, but I can't imagine much. So let's take these lemons of COVID and make lemonade. Give the students, the parents, the money, and let them have options. Our universities, let's get rid of the statewide and have 3 chancellors reporting to the Board of Regents. You know, as my mother always said, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So, being that we're forced to do things differently, we're living differently, we have to wear a mask, we have to distance. So, let's keep going. Let's get creative with it. Let's make some lemonade. I like lemonade. You like lemonade? You like a lemonade?
We have a comment from Chris Hayes, and he would like to just let you know that Alaska Building Trade Union members support Representative Sharon Jackson in Senate District, or in House District 13.
Yay! And I'm so honored and privileged. As I mentioned earlier, one thing I know for sure, the small business, they are the backbone of this country. They are the backbone of our state. They are the backbone of our communities. And when I worked with NFIB, I used to say, if I didn't come home with my shoes dirty from trampling into a construction site, I wasn't doing my job. That's where you can tell what's going on in your economy by the building that's going on around you. We need to get these guys building, and they want to be able to build with a safe code, and by golly, they should have that code. It's good for everybody. When you build your place, you want to know that you have the specs of a code that
What fits our state condition,
Yeah.
our environment. We're not using a code that's applicable in California.
Yeah, we have earthquakes. I love our builders. Thank you guys, really. And we're gonna be building. Actually, if I can say, Beech Tree, the property that they're looking at, they will be continuing construction on that. So thanks for your endorsement. I also want to thank NRA. I have been endorsed by NRA. Isn't that
Awesome.
wonderful?
That's great.
Yeah, our Second Amendment, baby. I'm not budging. Is that too conservative for you?
Well, I
Just
have
having fun.
I have a question here by text. First of all, it says, Representative Jackson, thank you for your support for our military spouse. You mentioned that there are two strong political parties. The question is, how would you address questions and concerns of someone who isn't affiliated with either party, someone who has mixed views, positive or negatives on both parties, aka independent thinking?
Hi, AK Independent Thinking. Thank you for that question. When something I learned from Senator Dan Sullivan, when you are in that office, it's not about party anymore. Don't get me wrong. You still have your principles, but everybody matters, right? When you call my phone, I don't say, what party are you?
Right.
I love our country for our independent thinking. I look at it like this, and I value the different views. Understand that. And it's quite courageous of you not to jump into a box. Because personally, I don't think there's a box big enough to put me in around here. Right?
Right.
But look at it like this. We have two vehicles, two ships. I call them ships. One thing about the Democrats, their ship, they stay on their ship. Maybe they don't like to swim. I don't know, but they don't leave that ship. And then the Republican ship, yes, we get frustrated. And I hear people saying, I didn't leave the party left me. But then there's this raft of what independent or libertarian, or what are some of our other ones? We have these little floaters around our big ship, right? Well, when we're in a time of crisis, we all need to get back in this ship, because it's only the captain up there that's not steering in the direction you want to go. We need everybody on this ship right now, right? Until we get our house in order. We need all hands on deck, all of us. And civility is a respect for the difference of someone's thinking. I listen to everybody. I have a story for you. I received a call from a constituent. Oh, she disagreed with something on my Facebook. And when people disagree, I don't cut you off. I don't ghost you, or whatever those words are. But I invite you out. Let's get together and let's have a conversation. We got together 10 o'clock at Jitters, and we were there until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There was some bonding going on. we were understanding each other, and we realized we really liked each other, right? But we have to be willing to listen and have a conversation. I don't think a legislator gives you a pen that says you are all that and nobody else matters. I look at it as this microphone here, and I want to hear what you have to say. When we can communicate, we can build a country. We did it before. We did. We rebuilt Alaska. I wasn't here in the 60s. Dan Kendall sent a question earlier. That man was here when that earthquake happened, and he has a story that just brings tears to your eyes. But look at where we are today, right? So we need to start focusing on what we are grateful for. Stop looking at what's wrong. Let's look at what we can do about it and how we can not come here to this point again. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. And caring is a lot. We all need that. Alaska needs a mother. Alaska needs to be nurtured, loved, accepted, listened to, even hugged. And I'm here to do that. I really am.
I have another text from Mr. Dave Valdez and said, "Winter is coming, release our PFD."
I was saying spring is coming, release our PFD, right? I wasn't too happy about this $900 given to the people before October, right? October is coming, and we are accustomed to that money, and like, it's not even the money, it's more than that. We have a lifestyle up here that it's not just easy to just change everything real fast. I agree with you. We need to get that money. Something needs to come out in October.
We got a question here. What are you going to do about the mayor's actions of targeting businesses while ensuring his own businesses are informed and prepared ahead of time? His orders look, what he has done to Criners and others, unacceptable.
Absolutely unacceptable. That's unacceptable behavior. Unfortunately, that's a double-edged sword there. I support Criners. I'm proud of Criners. I support all of our small businesses. They've been out of work for 3 months, people. And to be able to go back and slowly build it up, it's not like they were at full capacity and then get shut down because some one man have the power to do it. I'm going to tell you something. We were shut down. We were hunkered down, all of us, fearing for our life. You couldn't go out to the streets and see anybody. You couldn't get on the highway and see other cars because everyone was hunkered down for their safety. And then down in the lower 48, a cop decides he wants to kill somebody on camera. And God rest the soul. And everyone knows who I'm talking about. But what I did not understand is the protests. Now, don't try to judge me on this. Because peaceful protesting is a First Amendment right. But we were hunkered down. We were scared for our lives. And people went out by the thousands. And they had a permit from the same man that's deciding who stays open and who closes. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. So it was okay for, even the mayor had a protest at one point and had people out there, right, screaming, and here we had Memorial Day and they canceled it. We had a beautiful Memorial Day service downtown. Bear Paw, like church, things that bring people hope or joy. You have one man that decides who can be happy and who can't. That's a problem. And I'm looking forward to the campaign for a new mayor. And hopefully he is accused of being too conservative, because that's what we need right about now. I'm just saying.
We have a question from Sharon.
We all know that Sharon loves children.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to ask a question in regard to education. Actually, in regard to Commissioner Shabaka's proposal.
Yes.
Can we get some insight on money, education, and how it will help parents and teachers?
Yes. So I love that. And if you haven't seen that petition from Commissioner, look for it, please, and sign it. But to me, what that is doing, you know, our education is so complex. The system is so complex. You know, you have the administration and you have the principal, and I always wanted one straight line from the student to the teacher. And to me, this petition will take that money that will follow this student to their teacher. And I think that our numbers are going to go up like crazy. I really believe that. Our youth are going to start thirsting for knowledge because they see someone that cares. Why is it okay that you don't care what I know until you know that I care? Our babies need more care. And I believe that school choice is going to give the parents the option. So parents, if you know other parents that are homeschooling and they're a friend or go to your church, ask them if they can, you know, take another child or two. I believe our kids are going to get that enthusiasm back, you know, where they love school and learning, but their grades reflect that. That brings me to another point, our high school. So I would like to see here in Eagle River, I would like to see a vocational high school. You were talking about jobs. Senator Costello passed a bill this summer. I co-sponsored this bill, but it was changing the age of CDL drivers from 21 to 19. And what happened is these young people went to school, learned how to drive, but then they had to sit around for a couple of years before they were able to, right? We don't want them to lose that desire. We want to inspire their desire. And Eagle River, I would like to see a vocational high school. You know, our students here, Chugiak and Eagle River High School, there was a big rip about what they were going to do. And I listened to the student council. I love talking to youth. Like, you'll find me talking to a bunch of youth, and I love it. But I asked them, what do you want? and they wanted to go to school together. So I'm thinking, okay, if you're happy there, why can't we take growing and make it a vocational school? Another king tag, right?
Right.
Because that feeds their gifts, their arts.
You're saying that not everybody is meant to go to a 4-year college.
Oh, yeah.
To get just a technical training that's 2 years or less gives them a jump start in their career.
That's
and
right.
that could lead them to, who knows? I mean, my son works for Pepsi. He works with the delivery and the orders. And he told me he's always looking for drivers.
See?
There's a shortage of drivers, and he put out the advertisement there on website, but they don't get enough.
See?
There's jobs out there, but they don't have the skill set to go after them.
Yes.
So
you know what? The thing is, find your dream. Like, if you could do anything you want to do and money doesn't matter, what would that be? What would that be? What would that look like? We have to reignite the passion of our life, the purpose of our life. I'm going to mention Beech Tree again, because one thing about the people they are hiring, they're going to be hiring local people. They're going to be hiring veterans. They're going to be training, right?
Yes.
They're going to bring you and train you on how to do something new. And like, you can go to a career tech and graduate from high school and have a great job, or go to charter college because you know what you want to do. You want to get straight to the point and get to work. But you can always take classes. You can always build your education. But who says you have to sit down for 4 years and rack up this bill that you don't know how you're going to pay it?
Brian Henderson, he was the one that gave you the question about Kreiner's Diner and the mayor. He wants to clarify his question a little bit better, because
Sure.
he wasn't sure that you quite grasped what he was trying to get across here.
He asked me what I was going to do about it, right?
That was pretty much it, yes.
Yeah,
But
okay.
He branched out here just a little bit
Okay.
more. If one mayor can do as he pleases and state legislators won't step in to hold them accountable, then maybe someone else needs to be in the seat, someone willing to do more.
Okay, check this out. We're going to school right now, okay? There are different branches of government. You have your legislative branch, you have your judicial branch, you have your administrative branch, right? Now, there are different levels of government. You have your city municipal government. You have your city councils, which if you're having an issue in your municipality, you go to your city council. Your city council, you as a community, you talk about it. Then you take that conversation to your assembly, right? You with me? This is not a state issue. This is a mayor municipal issue. So I would almost want to reverse that. If we don't know what our lane is, then we need to go find something else to do. But there are people, and the people drives all these engines. All of them. So you don't need a legislator to step out of legislating to come down to your municipal and tell your mayor what to do. Like, we can't do that. Like, people, I think that is something that's misunderstood. So that's like asking Congressman Young, come in here and make our mayor get his act together. Well, he can't do that. You know why? Because he's federal level. So we have federal, state, city, municipal. Right? Now, what we can do, because I'm feeling you, if you have legislators that you do trust, maybe when we get in there, we need to start working on some bills about how much power can be enforced. Because no one should be able to abuse that kind of power. But
I'm going to add into this here myself.
Good.
With the current mayor and the mandates that he has been currently doing out there, and the different things that he's trying to spend the CARES Act money on.
Yeah.
Currently, it is unfortunate by all appearances, the mayor of Anchorage has more power in our state right now than our own governor of Alaska does, Governor Mike Dunleavy.
Yeah, that's not right. And so that needs to be fixed. And that's a very good point. Actually, one thing I can tell you, that CARES Act money came in with strict, it's like you buy a bookshelf and you have the instructions and how to put that together. That's the way our CARES Act came in here. And the legislator went back in so that they can release that money to the municipality, right? Like, we shouldn't, and maybe I'm thinking differently now, but we shouldn't have had to micromanage, knowing that you have a mayor that you can trust to do the right thing. To abuse that CARES Act money, like, why is it not going to these restaurants so that they can stay open? That money should have gone to the people, not to a few people, not to buy-in buildings, not to special interests, but for the well-being of the people to make it through this rough patch. It's a big disappointment. And again, there's definitely some legislation that needs to happen to protect the constitutional rights, to protect our freedoms, right? Like someone said, oh, how did they put it? I thought it was really funny because they said, my body, my choice. Where's that at, Mayor? Right? So we have these double standards, and it's just not right. I'm really appalled that someone is picking picking. Yes, that's not healthy. I say this to say, know the levels and the responsibilities of the different governments, because you're going to tell me I'm not a good legislator because your mayor has gone rogue, and that's not me. That's your responsibility. And I say that with respect, and hopefully enlighten some people about that, because like Congressman Young can't come in there and tell us how to legislate. It's not within their jurisdiction of governing that. However, I'm a constituent, right, of the mayor, and I don't agree what he's doing. And find us a good mayor to run. Are you running?
I'm going to add one more onto this. Tomorrow, Tuesday at 4:30, the community of Anchorage is meeting at the Lusac Library to protest both the draconian measures of the lockdown that they have, and they also are going to be there to protest the use of the CARES Act money, which it currently appears by the numbers, if we were to go through the plan that they currently have, the plan is definitely sliding all of the money over into, as you have stated earlier, the special interests of Alaska's pocketbooks. And the citizens of Anchorage and Eagle River and all the way out to Klutna and the different locations that have in between are being basically told that you are just going to get the scraps after we make sure that all these other places are well taken care of, which also happen to benefit from our state budget, our federal budget, and now they're benefiting from the CARES Act budget while the rest of us are still sitting here. So if you are in the area, please come out and join us.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you what, they will be held accountable. I just hope we don't have to pay for it, really. But they will be held accountable for the use of that CARES Act money. And before we wrap this up, I would like to ask Marichu if she can share our schedule. Tomorrow I'm going to be...
So tomorrow, Mr. Representative Jackson will be live with Eddie Burke, KOAN 1080 from 12 to 1. So please join us through Facebook or by radio and the website, and you can ask her your questions. And then on Wednesday, Representative Jackson is going to be on the show with Forest Neighbor, KOAN 1080, live on the studio from 4 to 5. Again, another opportunity to hear her platform and to submit your questions to her. And please join us and hear more about what Representative Jackson is doing for District 13 as well as for the state of Alaska.
So I am your Representative Sharon Jackson for Eagle River, Chugiak, and Jay-Bear, which we call District 13. Don't let this be the end. Continue to ask questions. Let's have these conversations. That's where we are going to get things done. Let's talk about this. You can reach me on Facebook, Jackson for State House. My website is jacksonforhouse.com, FOR, or jacksonforalaska.com. My phone number is 268-0602. I'm here for you. This is the purpose of my life. It really is. And if you need me, call me, text me, email me, Facebook. Thank you for taking this time. I really enjoy our time together. It means a lot. And I have enough faith to know that we're going to make it. We are going to be okay. This is our America. This is our Alaska. And this is our home. Have a great evening.